what you're going to do with your solution. All these things. So I want you guys to start thinking about a few things to change your paradigm, change your perspective on what you can tap into that could be not just a career, but a calling. And you wake up, you have purpose, you know what you have passion, you know what you're doing. Because a lot of people think, if I could just find my passion, if I could figure that out, I'll find success, I'll be fulfilled, I'll feel happy. But here's the problem. Most people cannot answer that question. If I asked you right now, tell me if you have a passion, could you raise your hand and say, yes, this is my passion, this is what I know what I want to do. What is it?
Make videos and movies.
Make movies or videos? That's amazing. What about you? No? No? What's your name? Alex has a head start on all of his peers. Because he's passionate about movies and film. Okay? So here's 3 examples of someone that does the exact same thing. This individual, let's call him Larry. Larry says, I lay bricks every day. What about Mo? Mo says, I make a building with these bricks. What about Curly? Look how happy Curly is. He says, I create a place for learning that changes lives. I build schools. So the difference is I lay a brick, I make a building, I create a place that creates learning that changes lives, make schools. One's a job, one's a career, one's a calling. Raise your hand if you want a job. Raise your hand if you want a career. Raise your hand if you want a calling. I hope everyone picks the last one. Where you're playing to your strengths, you're living in your interests, you're making a difference. It doesn't feel like work, it gives you energy, it's effortless. You don't keep track of time. You're helping, you're serving. That's what's having a calling is about. Okay? So I'm gonna flip the script on you guys. This is the old way. Passion, success, all feel fulfilled. This is the new model. I'm going to teach you guys. Find a need first, where you can bring value. Step 2 is tap into that need with an interest of yours. Find a need that hasn't been met that you are curious about, learning more, trying to understand, to answer that question, to master it. And then practice it. It's all about trial and error. You can't be afraid to fail. You have to practice it over and over and over again until you master it. Once you've mastered it, it becomes a passion. So passion is the last step. Does this make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, step 1, write this down. To help uncover your passion is to find a need. Find an unmet need. You got a question, bud? Your pencil broke? So ask yourself this question. How can I bring value? So making movies brings value. It helps people escape. You can learn something, learn a lesson. There's moral stories in movies. How can you bring value to the world? Who knows who this guy is right here?
Who?
This dude right here. If you're wearing Nike right now, raise your hand. Or Jordans.
Jordan.
Okay. This is Phil Knight. He's the founder of Nike. This is his track coach, Bill Bowerman. Phil Knight ran track at Oregon. He was a duck. I'm a coup, but it's all good. Okay. So they were running track. He ran long distance. He's like, man, these shoes are not good. They have a wooden sole. A lot of my teammates have blisters, sprained ankles. Like they're not comfortable. We have to come up with. If there's a need, we need to come up with a new strategy. So they started with a need first, a value proposition. So what these guys did is, Bill Bowerman's wife had this big waffle maker. Like, we need some more cushion. So they poured rubber into a waffle maker and made the first Nike sole out of a waffle maker. Put it on the bottom pair of track shoes with a lot more cushion. The athletes were less injured, more comfort. And that business has exploded. Would you agree? So it started with finding a need. What about, who knows who this guy is? Who is it? Who is it? The Apple family. You know his name? What is it?
Steve Jobs.
Steve Jobs, yeah. So Steve Jobs founded Apple, 70s and 80s. He got let go from the board of directors in 85, came back in 97. Their stock was floundering, their business was, they're losing money, they were trying to sell their business because they were not successful. So to get them out of the abyss, Steve Jobs says we got to tap into a need. And a big need at the time in Passion was music. People like music, right? But they were using either a Walkman, portable, or a Discman, CDs. Can you imagine? Who even has seen a CD or an actual tape player? Okay? So portable, talking old school, 80s, 90s. You'd have a CD and a big Discman with headphones. So he's like, we got to change the game. So he invented the iPod. You guys have iPods now on your guys' phone. He created a system to buy and sell music, actually music called iTunes. Changed the game. First there was a need, right? It all started with the need. They made computers, but they asked the question, where is there a need? They veered off into music. And they kind of evolved it, now it's in your guys' phones. So start with the need first. Now Apple is worth billions. They're the second largest company in the world. We took them over, they were almost bankrupt. Find a need first. How can you bring value? So write this question down. Think in your sphere of influence, with your family, at school, with your teams. Think about life. Think about the current state of the world. Where is there a need? Where is there an unmet thing that hasn't been figured out yet? Where is there a challenge that hasn't been answered yet? You haven't found the answer to it. A roadblock, something that's holding people that you care about back, or it's not as efficient, it's not as effective. Just like how Phil Knight found that the need that there's not quality shoes for being tracked to run. Just like Steve Jobs said, that this whole music game is messed up. We don't have a nice portable way to listen to music. Is this making sense? So find a way to serve a population first instead of serving yourself. If you can find a way to help people and tap into that, you're going to be wealthy, not just with finances, but you're going to feel awesome inside. Because you're going to make a big difference. So if you guys think about, write down right now, if you think about some needs out there. This might be something you guys can think about, you might not have the answers right now. Can anybody think of a need that hasn't been met that you guys can think of? Pollution, that's awesome. Pollution in the ocean. That's a great place to start. Okay. You gotta share. Come on, you gotta share what you think about it. You can do it.
Okay, so I thought about the need because of what's going on in the current state of our world right now, that we need to create togetherness and unity. So I'm thinking like we're like a community type of gathering and community all around the world.
Well, we get around. That's amazing. A what? Deforestation? What is that? Oh, so like the need that we got to stop killing trees and that's a good place to start. So where is there a need? So think about this. If you can find an area that hasn't been met yet, you're ahead of the game. So I want you guys to write this down, okay? I want your pens ready. Find a niche. Who knows what the word niche is? Find a niche.
I was going to say, it was in that article that we did a couple weeks ago. If you were like pro large schools, that word niche was in your article and we defined it together.
Find a small, specific area, a niche, a small focus, like with the Nike example, shoes, with Apple example, music. Find a specific area, a niche. Find your niche, scratch your itch, something that you're curious about, you'll be rich. You like that or no? Is that good? Find your niche, scratch your itch, you'll be rich. In finances, in freedom, being fulfilled, specialize. Be very niche focused. A small group, a small problem. The more niche you can be, the more successful you'll be. That rhymed. Find your niche, scratch an itch, you'll be rich. So let's talk about scratching the itch. Tie that need to an interest of yours. If you can do that, it's going to be a lot easier to solve that problem because you are curious about it. You want to learn more about it. You want to study it. You want to master it. You wake up each day trying to find a solution to that need, to that question. What are you curious about? And this came from this author named Elizabeth Gilbert, who wrote the book Eat, Pray, Love. It sold over 10 million copies. It went viral. And after she wrote that book, she had a writer's block. and she got advice from all these people and friends and family experts say, Elizabeth, just write about your passion. What are you passionate about? And I got this gut feeling I had that question. I don't know what I'm passionate about. She's a grown woman. She doesn't have a clear passion, even though she wrote a best-selling book. So she said, it took me a year to figure this out. She said, I figured out. What am I curious about? What fuels my curiosity I want to learn about? That will help you lead down the road of finding a passion. Howard Schultz, the CEO and founder of Starbucks, was in Europe backpacking, hanging out, and he saw all these European countries in Belgium, and they had these little cafes that was a part of the way of life. All the families, business meetings were all held at these little cafes, and they drank coffee, they hung out. It was a way of life. He's like, how can we create this culture, this environment back in the United States? Because we don't have that. When I was in high school and college, Starbucks just getting started. Wasn't that? Now, who drinks Starbucks? Who goes to Starbucks right now? Like, it's a way of life now. So he found a need that we didn't know about, but he loved coffee. So he tied a need with an interest of his, which helped create a passion. Does this make sense? So here's a quote from the author of Eat, Pray, Love. Passion is a tower of flame, but curiosity is a tiny tap on the shoulder. It's a little tap. That's a little whisper saying, hey, that's kind of interesting. I want to learn about that. If you can tap into your curiosity that's just for you, and tie that curiosity into a need that hasn't been met yet, that's going to take you in a direction that's going to find your guys' passion. Is this too abstract? You guys follow me? Okay, need first, then tap into it. What is that need that you are interested in, that you want to learn more about? Because you're not a master yet. It's going to take years to find that solution. But if you can tap into your own curiosity to answer a question, a riddle that you haven't figured out yet. So I'll just give a personal example of a need. So when I was your guys' age, even up until I was about 34, 35, I had all these accolades, but I was always stressed, learned about other people's opinions of me, feared failure, and I had an amazing mentor that changed my life, changed my whole mindset, gave me books, had great mentors I learned from. Now I'm so passionate about finding what makes success, what do winners do differently, and share that with people. My passion is to give people tools to succeed. So I found an unmet need, tap into my interest, and that's why I'm doing this with Project Rise all the time. So let me ask you this question. What are you curious about? It could be anything. My guy over here, he's curious about film and movies. That's a great place to start. What are you curious about? Not Netflix, not playing games on your phone, not playing PS4. Something bigger. Maybe a question, maybe a person, maybe a trade or a skill, or an area. It could be cars, it could be hair, it could be flight, it could be anything. But try to uncover a curiosity. Try to find that curiosity, feed that curiosity. Does anybody want to share something that they're kind of curious about, or have an interest in something? Yeah?
Football.
The football? So what about football?
Making a good team. Having like good grades to play football and stuff.
So a curiosity of the football more than just the game of football.
Mm-hmm.
So how to enhance, how to get good grades, or how to play at a higher
How
level.
to make it to like the NFL or something.
Find ways to win at football. It could be nutrition, training, lifting. Okay. Pretty good. Okay, step 3, guys. Practice. We're trying to find ways to uncover a passion. You got to practice. So step 1 of practicing, you need to experiment. You got to try new things. Just try new things. Experiment, tinker, try. Step 2 is you got to fail. If you're not failing, you're not growing. You can't be afraid to fail. It's about progress, not being perfect. It's about growing. It's about having a growth mindset. Have you guys heard the term a fixed mindset versus a growth mindset? Okay, fixed mindset people are afraid to fail. They're trying to be perfect. Therefore, they don't grow. Growth mindset people love the challenge. They like to improve. They're not defined by failure. Failure is a roadblock. Failure is not a building block. Failure is a building block, not a roadblock. So the most successful people know this. And I've given a few examples when I talked to you guys last month. Who knew who invented the light bulb? Who invented the light bulb? I was asking, how many times have you failed until he invented it? 10,000 times. President Lincoln failed 7 elections. Walt Disney got turned down by over 300 banks for investing into Disney. Colonel Sanders was turned down by over 1,000 investors for his recipe for fried chicken for KFC. Steph Curry wasn't an all-star until his 5th year in the league. Fail, learn, and grow. Tinker, experiment. Okay? Have a growth mindset. That's the only way you're going to discover greatness inside of you. When you fail and learn from it. So let's watch this video about Steve Harvey. You guys know about her? Miss Universe. Made a little blunder.
We have the latest on the Miss Universe controversy right now. So Larry, you spoke with Miss Philippines, the winner, yesterday. Now it's Miss Columbia's chance.
Oh yeah, she is in fact speaking out for the very first time on TV. Runner-up Miss Columbia is talking about how she really feels about that on-air flub that gave her the crown and took it away in just a matter of moments.
I have to apologize.
It was the ultimate slip-up. Steve Harvey announcing the wrong Miss Universe winner.
The first runner-up is Columbia.
Now in a new interview from Univision, Miss Columbia speaking out for the first time on TV, sharing how difficult that moment really was. Saying, I went up to my parents' room and obviously I was very sad. I was in bad shape. I was crying. I cried a ton that night, sharing her distaste for how the whole situation was handled. In 4 minutes, they destroy your dreams. They throw it in a bag and they throw it in the trash. They could have done it another way. I feel like it doesn't matter to them the feelings of a girl who has worked her whole life for a dream. Steve Harvey also finally speaking out on his morning radio show, denying rumors that this might have been some sort of publicity stunt.
Why the hell would I do that? I'm already famous. Do you really think I wanted to be famous like this?
Describing the moment after his crowning mistake as chaotic.
Now, I got a guy in my ear going, we gotta do something. We gotta do something. That's all I'm hearing. It's utter confusion. Everybody backstage. So I took it upon myself and I walked out there to do something.
The Miss Universe organization telling ABC News overnight that the teleprompter did not have the winner's name and just read, and the winner is. Then when Harvey saw the card, he was confused. Harvey taking full responsibility for that mistake.
Did I make a mistake? Yes, I did. Wholeheartedly. And at this point in the game, I'm not in the finger-pointing business and rolling other people under the bus.
And while many...
Okay, so one thing, he made a mistake, but he owned it, right? But the big mistake, he announced the wrong winner. But he owned it, and guess what? He got invited back to host the pageant the last 2 years. But we watched that video on what platform? YouTube. Who are these guys? Founders of YouTube. So we just accessed the video by an outlet that wasn't around years ago. By these 3 guys invented it. Did you guys know that? Okay. So these guys, before they invented YouTube, they came up with a dating site that you can send a video in and kind of have that first date. You can watch the video to kind of see how they talk, see their interests, see their likes, but that failed miserably. And then they decided, well, what if we tweak that and have a platform to share videos around the world? Because in 2004, the Super Bowl, Justin Timberlake, Janet Jackson, the infamous wardrobe malfunction, where Timberlake, her top kind of came off or something. It was kind of crazy. But this guy was overseas, so he didn't get to see it. So they're trying to figure out how can we share this video to send it to our buddy, and they were able to create YouTube. Because they failed on that first experiment, this whole dating video site. So they practiced, failed, tinkered, and then they learned and grew from it. Now we have YouTube. So when they first got investors, they started the company for $11 million. They sold YouTube to Google for $1.7 billion. And it took several years. But they saw a need, right? The need is we need to share video. They tapped into interest. They were working for a company called PayPal. It was a tech sharing money business. So they kind of tapped into their interest, but they tapped into video. Practice, 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 fail, practice, practice. Boom. Rich, famous, crushing. Because success doesn't look like this. I want you guys to draw these lines. Your notes. A lot of people think success is overnight. Success is not a microwave. Success is a crock pot. It takes time. You gotta marinate. You gotta marinate that thing, right? It's gonna take time. You have to fail, mess up, learn from it. This is what success looks like. A lot of twists and turns. You can't grow unless you fail. You can't learn unless you mess up. You can't be afraid to fail. Experiment, tinker, try. Don't like it, try something different. Try something different again. Just keep going. Practice, practice, practice. Keep practicing. So here are some tips on how to practice. Okay? This is one of my biggest passions in life, is sharing the importance to people to invest in your personal development. Yeah, but need a little pencil. Do you guys have a backup pencil? Okay. Who knows what I say? Invest in your personal development. Who knows what I'm saying? Anyone? Was it me? That is outstanding. What's your name? Alex, learn more about your curiosity. That's so perfect. Invest in development. Study. Like, what is that you want to learn more about? Invest in your knowledge, skills. Guys, write this down. Learners are earners. Learners are earners. Learners are leaders. Leaders are readers. Come on. Okay, I'll do it again. Do we write it?
Learners are earners.
Learners are earners. So, learners are leaders. Leaders are readers. I'll at your boy, money, come on. Okay? Learners are earners. Learners are leaders. Leaders are readers. That make sense? So, the average CEO of a Fortune 500 company reads 60 books a year. 60 books a year. The average American buys 12 books, reads 3. There's a reason why they're CEOs. They're investing in their personal development. Knowledge. Growing. Miss Sierra gave me a great tip. Try new things while you're practicing. Try new stuff. Try. Miss Sierra thought in high school would want to be a nurse. Tried it out.
I thought about being a nurse or a doctor, so I volunteered for 2 years at a hospital and learned that that was not where I wanted to go. But at least I tried. So I was curious whether or not I should want that.
You can't develop and grow your passion or find your passion unless you try stuff. Practice it. Give it a try. And also, every time, be flexible. Be flexible to try different stuff. Be open to try new things. There's a thing called the 10,000 Rule, the 10-year rule. It's a book by Malcolm Gladwell called Outliers. It says if you want to be an expert at something, research suggests that it takes 10,000 hours of practice to be good. So John Legend started playing the piano when he was 7 years old. Practice for hours every day. So if you did the math, to get 10,000 hours in 10 years, you have to average 2.7 hours per day practicing in that craft. It's a long time, right? So again, success is like this. It takes time. Here's my favorite. Find mentors. You have a library full of mentors. There's books about different successful people, biographies. Have a physical mentor that has what you want. I'll tell a story about my company. I work for Bard Medical. I was a new employee there 3 years ago. My first national sales meeting, I said, who was the top rep? Who was number 1 last year? Oh, Rosie out of Boston. This is what I did. Rosie. Collin Henderson from Seattle. I heard you did a great job, and I'd love to learn from you. And I'm just eager to do the best. And think I can learn from you and be a mentor this year? And she's like, yeah, sure, let's do it. So I called her about once or twice a month. I've picked a new mentor every year for the last 4 years to tap into a new skill that I want to learn. Last year I set a record for most sales in the history of our division. It wasn't because of me, it's because I had great mentors. I've learned, I studied. Okay? So, what are you guys investing in? Let me ask you this question. We all have the same number of hours per week. Who knows how many hours are in a week? There's 168 hours in a week. 168. Take away sleep and school, that's 100 hours. Now you have 68. What are you doing with your time and your money and your resources? You're investing your time in Snapchat, YouTube, Netflix, PS4, or you're investing in your brain, or you're buying all your money on clothes, shoes, apps, games. Your brain is the best investment you can make. Your development is the best thing you can do for yourself. Let's go back to this. Learners are earners. Learners are leaders. Leaders are readers. You want to advance yourself in the marketplace? Amongst your peers? Invest in your brain. Read. Everybody ever have a phone? There's so much access to knowledge today. You have access to whatever you want. Use those applications on the internet, YouTube, to get better. There's podcasts. There's blogs, Project Rise. There's so much access to get better. Okay? Invest in you. Question. Right, here we go. Here's your question. Who can be your mentor? I want you guys to identify, like my example of Rosie, who has what you want? Who's crushing it in the field that you are curious about? Ask them questions. I'll say this. You go to college for 4 years and get a major, or you can have a mentor that's an expert in your field and spend every day for 4 weeks. I'll think you'll probably learn more than that mentor. I'm still saying go to school and have a mentor. That's even better. And what book or topic can you research on Google and YouTube? Use your phone as a tool to gain valuable knowledge. Watch a thought leader on YouTube. Talk. Read a book. Download a podcast. Google search a topic that you want to learn more about. Then practice it. Practice, practice, practice. Fail, learn, adapt, grow. So this is the old model. Find your passion, then you'll find success, then you'll be fulfilled. Well, I don't know what my passion is. Okay, that's the old way. Here's a new way. Find a need first. Where is there an unmet need where you can make a difference? Where's a population that, where is your niche, right? Find your niche. Then tap into a need or a niche that you are interested in, that you're curious about. Find a niche, scratch your niche, right? And then you'll be rich. Practice it, fail, practice, and then you'll find your passion. So Project Rise is a creation of all these things. I see people I work with, I see kids, I see athletic teams, I see adults, young people. They're kind of struggling. They don't know how to handle all the pressures, how to deal with failure, dealing with stress. Because I went through all those things. So I invested in my development, read, studied, mentors, invested, reading all the time, all in on my development. And practice, give speeches, write blogs. I'm writing a book right now. I can't wait to launch it. So I found a passion because I've failed a lot. I've messed up a lot. I've given speeches that were not good. I've written blog posts that are not good. But that failure is where I learn. I get better. It's not the road to success, it's the success road. It never stops. You're always growing and learning. Okay? Pull out your phones. Is that? So you have one, I'll give you permission to pull it, but I want you guys to take a picture of this right here. This is you guys' task to invest. This is your personal investment. This isn't homework, this is investment in yourself. The best investment you can make is in your development. Okay? We're trying to tap into that passion, trying to tap into that curiosity. So come to class next Wednesday and identify an area of need where you can bring value in the world. We have examples about forests being cut down, about pollution in the ocean, about creating movies, film, video. That's great. Now identify a topic that you can search on Google and YouTube. Now come to class on Wednesday with what phrase or topic you are going to research that you are curious about. Okay? And step 3 is think about who has knowledge in that area, who is an expert in that field. Pick them as a mentor, and we'll ask you this question. Have you met with your mentor? Have you scheduled a meeting with a mentor? Phone? In person? And come back with how often you guys establish a cadence, or how often you guys are going to meet. Once a month? Twice a month? Phone? In person? It could be a coach. It could be a family member. It could be a friend. It could be a stranger. But this whole Google, YouTube, maybe pick a book. I'd love for you guys to tap into a book of someone dead or alive that inspires you, that you're curious to learn about. I have to add that one to the list, get people to come into the library. So, how are we on time? 1 minute. Okay, follow me on Project Rise. Let's go. Colin Henderson. Snap. CHEN83. Hit me on Instagram. So I have blog posts throughout. I have a podcast. I'm going to tap into some videos. Are there any questions for me? You guys have been amazing. I'm excited for you guys. Okay? If you can do this, find a need that taps into your interest, and practice it a lot, trial and error, you'll find your passion. You guys are awesome. Thanks. Well, question? Oh. You guys have a good plan on how to find a passion now? It is hard, so don't worry about your passion. First, find a need first. You know, for some people it's easy, some it's hard. Because, like I said, people don't know what they want to do. They just don't. There's a lot out there. They're just not. They haven't found it yet. So I say trial and error. Try different things. See what sticks.
So in class, I would like to do a shout out. Well, do this for what do you guys want? Because it's not my habit. What do you want? The whoosh? The what? Okay. What are we doing? Alright, so avid whoosh. On 3. 1, 2, 3.
Yeah. So guys, my goal is to be not like me. Don't find your passion until you're 35. Tap into it earlier. Shorten that gap. Okay? Need, interest, practice it. Then you'll find passion.
It's just a little song. Okay. Miss Porter, would you go unlock the door for the children? Currently, they need the things. I was actually make sure I didn't like that.
We have to think about learners, readers.
I
usually anywhere.
So I think my thing is that question, I'm really curious about what it is. After we get some questions,
Maybe like what are things that you spend that time on YouTube watching? Like what captures your interest because they're so desensitized
You sit in the middle and like music videos.
all the time.
It's like pop cultures.
What do they do? What do they do? Like what is it that you're watching? Because it's not cat videos for 3 hours.
Well, what if you, okay, so what if topics that you're taught in school, like,
Yeah.
what if the teachers be asking you to
That's
think
what it's
about
like.
that, you know what I mean? Because teachers usually have a good,
Well, and I guess like with mine, so the 7th grade, we're always talking about what do you want to see fixed? Because in 8th grade, they write legislation, and that's where their bill ideas come from. So 8th graders go to Olympia and debate for 4 days.
yeah, that's good.
And
You want to see
They're
fixed.
always
by the way, like I call him Bonbon because he's so sweet. Okay, so Michael's bill is on break. And all the kids are like, how did, because he's kind of
Yeah, right.
right? Like, how did you get on that? He's like, I have a 9-year-old sister. And if something happened to her, he's like, I'd probably kill someone. He was like, I can't do that. And he said, but I realized when you did harm somebody that age, they only got 3 years in prison. Yeah, so he's doubling.
I think trying to get solutions is all about asking questions. It's not,
Well, and it's trying to
so
talk.
is it, what do you want to see fixed?
What do you want to see fixed? So in Avid, I have kind of a structure for community, which is 6th grade. We actually think what are things in the community that we can help with. Like what's a small need that we can do a small quick fix. The homeless drive that we did last year, we got supplies in for the homeless and yep, animal shelter supplies, and then the panda awareness, how they're going extinct, and that kind of stuff. So just kind of bringing awareness to different issues and doing something about it. 7th grade, they continue with that.
So it's like small or big needs, or it could be like,
It could be
it's
well,
a
like,
community, it could
yeah,
be like in your family.
it could be that small. It could be as large as the state. It can be.
Almost like I need a visual aid.
So there's a really good one on PowerPoint that's like a multi-circle. So it's like start small and then it has multiple layers. And so I use that to tell my people, how about in this small community? We talk about class all the time. Oh yeah, we talk a lot. I'm like, that passport I carry around, it's like my everything. Because they're, they get there and they can understand it, but it's so abstract and they're used to having things in their face shiny. Like,
Family friendly school, social issues.
like this particular area is really concerned about the homeless population because they're everywhere.
That'd be like some social issues.
Yeah, so like societal issues, like what are things that you see that are a problem in your community, and let them kind of define what is community. Is it your local, school? Is it your neighborhood? Is it your classroom, your family? Is it Tacoma? How far do they extend that?
I just need to give, I think as I did this exercise today, I feel like eating.
Yeah, my Snapchat is working now.
Oh, man.
Later then.
You just need to give them some.
I remember Shannon dating with.
Yep, Shannon.
So,
You know what I'm saying?
and as I was thinking, how can we help them out with, they need to marinate it.
What's gonna take us, what's gonna take us, we need to think about it, yeah.
Exactly.
They probably never heard of it. It's gonna be, we get to start it somewhere. Start the dialogue.
We try to do that, and sometimes it falls flat on its face. And it's like, okay, do the drawing board. And other times, they get really, really involved with it. So it just takes them a little bit.
This passion question, I'm curious about. How do people find it? Because it's not easy.
Well, I don't know what my passion is. Like, honestly, like, I know that I'm passionate about animals, and I'm really passionate about Avid as a program. It's like life changing.
And let's go back to the first question. Where is it, do you want to see things?
I want teachers to be more engaged with kids.
Okay. How do you do that?
So I'm doing professional development. So I asked my director and
that. That's the first question. I was like about value too. Like how do you bring value?
Well, because we talked about value in the first one, right?
What values?
So if you value taking care of others, you're going to think about things that need to be fixed a long time.
Maybe curiosity. Maybe curiosity is kind of values.
It's like if something, if it triggers you, if it stirs you.
So what about curiosity? What do we do to help them tap into what they're curious about?
It's almost like the wonderings. So if you see
What-
something,
what-
if you want something like
daydream
that,
about?
that hooks you, it hooks you. Because if I'm scrolling through my newsfeed, right, what's gonna be clickbait for me? What's gonna
When
be?
you're
Yeah, I don't stop at everything, right? I don't like every post that's on there because I'd be there all day, and that's not what my life's about.
I'm afraid they're going to say stupid video.
So what did they do? What did they do?
Okay, what do they do?
What happens?
Okay, what about the video you curious about? Seeing someone
And why
say
is it
something
funny?
funny?
What about it makes it funny? Is it comical humor? Is it satire? Is it the type of situational irony? Like what is it? There's actually depth and dimension to all of that. It's just super. But even the guy that was like 21, they still sent it to me. Like guys, 20 seconds. That guy? Is that your role model? Like it's fun. Okay, 20 seconds you're like
So what
gone.
I'm trying to say is think beyond Netflix.
You think beyond it, but that's where we have to start with it.
I know.
It sucks.
I know. I'm just trying to. But we have to go. We have to go where they are. That's what I'm trying to uncover. This is it's a riddle. I'm trying to.
Oh, they're quite the little roots too.
Yeah.
But
So that's
They-
kind
they
of
have
because
to
you're
be-
talking like you're small and like what stops you?
like, think about it though, because it's the same thing for us, right? If I see something that's a petition, and I'm like, no. There's a ton of political stuff.
These kids are on Facebook, so they're snapping.
It depends on the
They're
age.
snapping and they're Instagram.
Yeah, so from 6th to 8th grade, there is a huge difference. So, one, you gotta have you come in and meet my 8th graders. They are so dynamic, they don't ever shut up, but they're passionate. And they just don't know what to do with it.
More engaged.
Yeah,
Maybe they're that more mature. I'm hoping that.
and they want to voice opinion. And so, what I've been working with that group is like, okay,
Were they the period?
you haven't met them yet. Because they're at the end of the day. So that's the group that I can be with. They have learned how to debate using parliamentary procedures. They have a debate coach that comes in. They looked at RCWs for Washington state laws, like what needs to be fixed.
Come on. So good.
It's like,
So good.
That's what we do.
That's so good. That's a great first question. So I'm like, need like, they don't understand that. It's like,
They
you-
do, but they have to
It's too
frame
abstract.
it. Frame it. So, no, but you would love these guys. Man, the 8th grade, they impressed me, but
Okay, so let's talk
on
about.
the brink grade.
Let's talk about.
Don't embarrass me.
Let's talk about curiosity.
Okay.
So what hooks you?
What is that hook? And I use the example of